YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day. We got some muscle snatches today. We got some no foot snatches today. We got some bench press today. Should be a pretty freaking great day. Got softball tonight. Pumped for that. Swing's been dialed in. I don't know if we talked about this military tournament, but we did our first perfect tournament, 32 for 32. This past weekend, didn't play a tournament because we had my roommate's wedding. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. Venue was awesome. It was great to see a couple of my buddies back home from college. It was fun just to get the boys together on the dance floor, ripping, and really bringing everything we've trained to life. So today we're gonna cover dunk technique and why it probably doesn't matter as much as you think it does, and what skinny guys should do for hypertrophy. So let's get after it, let's go. All right, so we just finished our warm-up. We had 3 rounds of jump ropes. Hand touches to the ground, I think hand touches and just ground touches from a standing position. So we were just literally here, coming here, and then we were touching the ground in a bunch of different ways. So maybe it's like an elbow, getting the elbow down there, maybe it was hands crossed, maybe it was behind. I think touching the ground from a standing position is one of the simplest things you can do for a warm-up exercise to keep that mobility piece kind of in your training. I think, again, a lot of times with the movement stuff that we do, it gets really complex in looking at all the different variations, and people get lost, and when people get lost and people get stressed, people don't understand it, they don't do any of it. Literally, I think touching the ground a couple times a week can be a game changer for any athlete, but anybody over 25 years old to not lose that ability. I think you see a lot of athletes get really, really stiff. They're sitting in chairs all day. The office clients love that one just to get their spine moving rounded, and it can be something as simple as that. So we did those sets of 10 there, 3 sets of 10 there, and then we did hugging the ball, duck walks there, just to open up that bottom position, continue to build that bottom position there. Now we got some muscle snatches here. We're gonna rip muscle snatches until we can't, and then we'll go no foot snatches after that, build those up as high as we can, then we'll hit some bench press, 2 rep max today, go from there. Let's go. Let's go. The 2 topics I'm covering today are in the Q&As, so if you have a question you want me to cover on the YouTube Q&As, either ask in the comments or ask in the weekly Q&As on Instagram. But one of the other questions, I guess we're covering it right now, but it's not gonna be a cover. I was asked why I always clean from these blocks rather than the ground. I've talked about this in older YouTube videos, but it's just because the ground underneath here, it's like super, super thin rubber. It's nice enough to like drop dumbbells and save the concrete, but it's like really hard concrete underneath. And this rubber cuts up pretty easy. So my goal is to not destroy the gym and pay more money than I need to pay. And I'm not doing an Olympic lifting competition anytime soon. So pulling from the blocks is not the end of the world for me. If I really start feeling like I need to do pull from the grounds, it's making a massive difference in my training, and I want to get after Olympic lifting a little bit more often, I'll probably go to Lifetime or find a way to do it here. But yeah, the main reason is just so I don't destroy the ground. There's no super scientific reason there. Let's get these. Here we go. Let's go. Pull that from the hang because they're built different. Let's go. So somebody stole my wallet from the gym. I assume it's from the gym, but I think I left it here, came back. I've been looking for it for a while. But I got a $42 charge from the Culver's right down the road, so I'm assuming it's from here. $42 from Culver's, nothing else, and canceled the credit card now. But if you're the one that stole my wallet, bought $42 worth of Culver's, 1, respect to you. That's a lot of Culver's. I like that. 2, dinner can be on me. Just return the wallet, please, because I'm trying to get a driver's license, and my passport card was in there, my driver's license was in there, my old driver's license was in there, and trying to come up with another form of ID that shows that I am Austin Yoakum with my photo is impossible. I have no idea how people get their IDs for the first time. I have like 17 pieces of ID that is required. I went home, I got a birth certificate, my social security card, a bank statement, my old tax return, and I needed to find another photo piece. So I have like a ID from when I was like 14 that I'm gonna try and use, but it's like, holy crap, it is not easy to get an ID again. Shit show. So if you bought that Culver's, on me, if you could leave that wallet over here, that'd be amazing. Let's go. Oh, I did a little knee bend there. Slow. Let's go. All right, so before we hit this one, I was asked on the Q&A, does dunk technique matter? Does jumping technique matter? Do you want to perfect that before you learn how to dunk? And I really believe the whole technique thing is the massive bell curve kind of meme that you have. It's like you have people that can't jump, people that can't snatch, people that can't swing, people that aren't very strong, people that just aren't very good at the thing, that think technique is all that matters. You go to the top of this middle of the bell curve at the top, and you have the median there, where you have people that think technique doesn't matter at all. And then at the very end, you have 1%ers in the world that talk about technique all the time. I think we look at that bell curve of the experts over here talking about technique matters, technique is the thing, and we see these 1%ers and we're like, fuck, we're over here, we want to get to over here, and they're saying technique matters, so all we have to focus on is technique. And I think we get lost in it a lot. Not necessarily that technique is bad, not necessarily a pursuit of perfection is great, it's that you're not pursuing anything, you're not at the point these athletes are at. When you are a 1%er, when you are at the razor thin margins, technique does matter. There are things that really do matter that you do need to perfect, that you do need to focus on, that you need to be within this like small slither of perfection, because the range of competition, the things that set you apart at the bottom and in the middle ground, they're gone. Everybody's big, everybody's strong, everybody's fast, everybody's really good at the thing that you want to be really good at in this 1% cycle. And so one of the only things left to get that winning edge is that perfection of technique. But where I really feel like we mess it up and we get lost is when we are in this middle ground, or usually it's the people that really suck at the task. They haven't spent enough time there, is they think it's all about technique. They think they hyper-analyze. And in this hyper-analyzing of the pursuit of perfection, in this hyper-analyzing of the skill set that they want to perfect, let's say it is jumping, let's say it is dunking, they stop jumping, they stop lifting, they stop swinging, because they're spending so much time analyzing the task, thinking about the task, watching videos on the task, mastering the task in quotations. But the actual work getting done on this end is what's keeping them on this end, because no work is getting done. If you can't dunk yet, you don't need to think about dunk technique. You just need to go jump a bunch. If you can't snatch a lot of weight, number one concern probably isn't snatch technique per se, but actually just snatching and figuring out the technique as you go, right? And again, that's not to say you can't have a combination of the things. I just think the people that are usually hyper aware of technique in and of itself, that aren't actual masters of their sport, waste a lot of time being hyper-analyzing these things rather than just working on the task. You learn so much more from actually just doing the task, getting better at the task, just jumping, just trying to dunk, just trying to snatch, just trying to swing the softball bat, than you do thinking about the videos. And everything else is kind of just an excuse for yourself. You can't dunk because you can't jump high enough. You can't dunk because you're not a dunker. You can't hit the ball over the fence because you're not a good swinger. You can't snatch a lot of weight because you're not a good snatcher. Not because of these small technique issues, right? Fix the big blocks, fix the big rocks there first, and then as we go, we can focus on those small, minute pieces. And that's a cool thing. In the process of perfection, in the process of actually doing the task, you learn so much more about what you actually need to perfect, what you actually suck at, than you would hyper-analyzing, than you would listening to a bunch of coaches telling you what you need to do. You'll learn what you need to do through the process of actually doing, and there's no shortcuts there. And I think a lot of people thinking about the shortcuts, thinking about the technique, thinking about if I just master my two-step approach to the basketball hoop, I'll be able to get it. You just need to jump more. You need to jump higher, and you need to do it more often, and you need to be more obsessed about it. Stop obsessing over the small details that are keeping you away from the big rocks. The small details will matter eventually, but if you're not there, you're not there. Nothing much you can do. Let's get it. Ooh! Fuck, that hurt. Ah! Come on. Don't bend those knees. Ooh! One more, come on. All right, we're gonna get this cleaner. Let's go. Here we go. Ooh! Woo! All right, now we're gonna get some no foot snatches. Let's get after it. Here we go. Cavion in the back. Cavion? I'm not really sure how to say his name, but he has some bangers. Let's go. Ooh! Ooh! They feel so clean with the no foot. I like it. Ooh, not as clean. Woo! Let's get to some singies. Here we go. I'm getting like a deep quad soreness from these, so that might mean we're doing something right here. We're actually using the legs, which is nice, instead of the elbow just fucking hating me the whole time. Maybe we're onto something here. Let's go. Ooh! Woo! Ooh! Woo! Ooh! Woo! Easy. All right, let's get this. Here we go. Singles. Ah, come on. as I was just talking about, starting to be onto something. Last couple sets, that last rep lit up that elbow. So this is probably the last set here, and it's probably gonna be a send. Let's get it. Oh! Woo! Come on. All right, those snatches finished up pretty good. 200 pounds on that no foot snatch, felt good. If the elbow's feeling good, I think we could push it a little bit more, but I think the number one thing that needs work is that catch. If that elbow feels like that on that catch, it's gotta be something a little inefficient there, so we'll continue to work on that. But the question I got that I wanna kinda cover here is, should a thin guy focus more on more reps for hypertrophy or lifting heavy lower reps? And I think this is something that a lot of people kind of get caught up in. They think about too much. And again, I think it's kind of on that bell curve. It's like big guys don't think about this stuff. It's almost always small guys that can do anything to get size. And they hyperanalyze, they think about their sets and reps, they hop programs too much. It's not one or the other. You don't have to do just low reps. You don't have to do just high reps. I think there's a balance. Hitting something heavy that day, then hitting some drop-off sets. Building up some volume, touching something heavy. You can even do it weekly if you want a day where it's your bodybuilding day and then a day where it's your strength day. I don't think you have to necessarily segregate these things, and you especially don't have to focus on like the perfect set and rep scheme, the balance between how much hypertrophy work am I doing, how much strength work am I doing. If you want to add size, eat a lot of food, lift weight consistently, do these things over a long period of time, and you're going to add size. If you're not adding size, you need to lift more weights and you need to eat more food. The set and rep scheme there is not going to be your number one dictator on why you're not adding size. Again, unless you're on this side of the bell curve where you're the 1%er of the 1%er, we need to get super specific and find out what works for you. Personally for me, size-wise, if I really want to start looking good, I got a photo shoot or we're going to a beach or something like that, frequency is the number one thing. I will start to add in upper body days on all of my lower body days and just start to add a lot of volume through the frequency piece. I'm getting a pump in that upper body pretty much every single day. And I'll kind of, the way I scale that is I'll do like a heavy upper body day on Monday, typical day, just rip that. Tuesday I'll do a heavy lower body day, but I'll add in like 2 sets or 3 sets of chest press machine, and we'll do there. And then we'll do an upper body day on Wednesday. Thursday will be lower body a day again, and I'll add 1 set of like chest flies. So usually it's a legging muscle. I've done videos on legging muscles before, but that frequency and volume piece work really well for me as long as I'm sticking with my strength piece. I feel like if I go full to bodybuilder, I not only lose the passion to lift, it's not as interesting to me, but I also feel like I lose a little bit of that density. Whereas if I'm balancing those two things out, which I think most 99% of people should be doing, lifting heavy, lifting with some volume in there, you get that really nice athletic look, which I think most people are going for, right? If you want to look like an NFL running back, train like an NFL running back, you don't have to go be a full bodybuilder, you don't have to go full be a full power lifter. There's that balance in between, and the more you focus and hyper-analyze the sets and reps in between, the less work you're getting done. So lift more weights, eat more food. Pretty simple. Let's bench. We got 2 rep max today with sandbag. Let's get it. Oh. Just a terrible setup all around. I had my sandbag at my fucking collarbone, at the bench all the way sorts of jacked up. We'll figure it out when we get to our 2 reps. Let's go. All right, let's pray for a better setup here. I think I'm gonna try and keep this out of the shirt. We're gonna see if that works a little bit better. And it's usually not bad when you have a spot here because then you can keep that there. Without the spot, I arch to get it up. And it jacks everything up. Let's get it, 2 reps here. Let's go. Much better. Oh, elbow is tenderized. My setup is shit. I'm too close. Right there. Little minute details right there. That's all that matters. Not that I'm just weak as fuck benching right now. Couldn't be the excuse. It's got to be something else. Let's go. We may have found the solution to all of our benching problems. We got mega bag. I think it's going to keep it on my chest a little bit better so I can get away from the rack. That last set I was like fucking T-Rexing. I was lying. I was weak as fuck on my bench right now. That's the main reason I sucked, but I was stuck underneath that bar and I felt like I had to like go here and then come back up. So hopefully we can get a little bit away from there. And let's get it. Here we go. 2 reps. Oh, holy shit, come on. Oh, we almost fucking died there. Let's go. I'm gonna hit a single because I didn't get one for Instagram. Add a little bit of weight, might get buried. Let's go. All right, we're gonna stay conservative, only add 5 pounds. Get it for another double, hopefully. If not, we'll bail and hit single for the gram. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Good finisher. We're gonna hit 50 drop catches with the empty bar and then get to some arms and then get out of here. Let's go. The camera is at 1%. We got 50 reps here. We got a couple arm series over there. So if we don't get to the arm series and we cut off, that is why. I'll say goodbye right away after these. I'm not sure what the camera's gonna be like. I should probably stop yapping. But we got 50 drop catches here. I really liked introducing some of the Jay Schrader DAC type approaches after the main set, almost as like a drop set. The athletes have been talking about how they feel way better after it. They feel like snappy, so we hit a long isometric after it, a long quasi, super long, slow lower, or some drop catches after. I feel like it's a good way to keep your main conjugate type approach to training with some of the DAC and Jay Schrader stuff without getting totally lost in it. I've just found it a cool way to spice in and add in some of the DAC and Jay Schrader stuff. So 50 of them, let's go. 4, 5. Woo, come on. Oh. Ah, yeah, spicy. Let's get to some arms, let's go. 15 lateral raises, 15 front raises, ripping, let's go. Ooh, let's go. 15 front. Ooh. 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 Woo. All right, we're at 0% on the camera. We're gonna hit some curls and some rows. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Keep chopping wood, let's go.